Hey everybody, welcome to J Stern Designs and Embroidery Sundays. I had started this series a while back and I had this grand dream of doing a original embroidery design every week with a fun project every week, and it just got to the point where I couldn't keep up with that because I'm creating my own original designs and it's taking me a long time to make sure everything is digitized properly, the underlay is correct, and everything is lining up and stitching out nice and professionally. So I've decided I'm going to back up a little bit and I'm going to talk about some topics that I've sort of learned along the way in it while I've been working on my first new collection of embroidery designs. The designs are actually, let me just show you here. This is one of my test stitch outs. These are going to be my poppy floral designs, and I'm really excited about them. I'm working them in Aerofill cotton 50 weight thread, and they're really pretty, and I'm really excited about them. So one of the things I learned while working on testing these designs is how important it is to use an embroidery needle. I'm going to put a link to the video I did as an overview and unboxing of the Brother PRS 100 Persona. And during that video, I showed all the parts and pieces, and there were some needles that came with the machine, and I didn't open them or look at them other than to note that they had a flat back like a household needle. After I had done some embroidery, I switched to a household universal needle, and I noticed that I couldn't pull the threads through the eye of the needle, including the knot, when I was changing colors, and the thread was breaking every now and then. So I went to investigate the needles that came with the machine, and I found out that there is in fact a specialty embroidery needle. It's called the needle system is HAX 130 EBBR. And I went to research the difference between that needle and a standard needle or a universal needle, and I found out that they're made to industrial standards. They have a reinforced blade, a slightly larger eye, and a soft, light, rounded point. So it's not like a chiseled hard point, so it won't damage fills and underlays as you're embroidering. So the big thing though, when I put in one of these needles, my thread stopped breaking and I could pull color changes, including the knot, through the hole of the needle. So I have my machine set up behind me. I want to just show you what I'm talking about here. All right, so here is my embroidery, and I want to go to the next color. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to cut my thread. All right, so here's the tail of the color that's currently threaded. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the next color in there, and I'm just going to take both tails like this. I'm going to even up the ends of the tails like this. I'm going to make a loop, and I'm going to put the tails through the loop to create a knot. I'm going to pull it really tight so the knot is as small as possible. I'm going to pull out the original color, and as it comes through the machine, I'm just going to pull it with some speed, and you're going to notice the knot is going to go right through the hole of this size 11 needle. Okay, did you see that? So here is my knot. All right, the knot went right through. If I tried to do that with the universal needle, then the knot was getting stuck. So I'm really happy with being able to use a smaller size needle that's appropriate for a lighter weight fabric and still be able to give my needle threader a break by pulling it through the eye of the needle. All right, so I guess I'll just start it up and let it stitch out a little bit here. After it's started for a second, I do like to stop it and just trim my thread close. Okay. Okay, so I just wanted to let it run for a second so you could see that even though I'm only using a size 11 needle, it's strong enough and works well enough to go through not only the linen fabric, but I have underlay and satin stitching and some decorative feather satin stitching on top of the fill of the flower, and it still embroiders really nicely, even when I'm making those tight candle wicking knots that are a little bit of a detail in the center of the flowers. All right, so I know this is kind of a quickie today, but I think it's important to share all these little nuggets of information with you because a little thing like having the right needle can really make your machine embroidery project more fun to do if you're not struggling with breaking threads and so on and so forth. All right, so you can see here I did a close-up of the top shank of these needles, and you can see they're just organ needles size 11. So when you go to order them online, you don't need to buy this package. I went on Amazon. These were like $21 for 6 needles. And then zooming in, you can see, even though they come in this generic package, they are in fact organ needles. So I recommend getting the organ brand version of the HAX 130 EBBR needles because you can get 100 of them for 30 some odd dollars instead of spending $21 for 6. So I did want to point that out as well. You want to be careful when you're shopping. And I also noticed on Amazon, if you look carefully, you can split up that 100-piece box of needles, and you can get different sizes in that box. So for example, when I ordered mine, I ordered 50 11s and then 50 14s. So I have heavier needles for heavier fabrics, and I have the 11s for when I'm working on lighter weight fabrics. So I hope those tips are useful in terms of shopping for them, and I'll put links to the organ needles on Amazon below this video as well. So I hope you enjoyed this little video tutorial on embroidery needles. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below and I will help you. Next week, we're going to take a look underneath my poppy embroidery designs to look at the underlay stitches, which are really the whole support for the beautiful look of the design. Not only do they help the design form properly, but they also allow the fill stitches to lay nicely on top of your fabric that you're working with. So that's what we will be doing next week, is taking a deep dive into underlay stitches, and I'll actually show you what I feel like is the best combination of underlay to make beautiful satin filled blooms. So I will see you next week. I hope you enjoyed this and have a lovely rest of your Sunday.